Right, now I'm going to show you how I cured the problem in the footwell. It might seem a bit long-winded, so I'm going to rely on my head cam picking up all the detail of how I done it. Right, how I achieved this is I had a sheet of A3 paper. I rolled it up from the short end. I rolled up from the short end and I inserted it in there. What I did, I pushed it right up underneath the windscreen. Now the windscreen ends somewhere around here, in that area there. So I made sure that this sheet of paper went right up around the back, okay, until it's comfortable sitting in place. And then I unrolled it down into towards the bottle. But I also made sure that it stood on the side up there. So what I'm going to do is create a mat out of another material that will sit in there comfortably. Also, I made sure it was tucked behind the servo there. Okay, and that is quite important, and you realise why when you come to actually make it. So I hope you can see that bit. Okay. Also then I lifted the bottle out of the way and I put it right down underneath. Okay, and I replaced the bottle on top. Okay, right, so now I know it's tucked right up there, and any rain that comes down in there will drop into that area. Okay, once I'm happy that the size is there, what I then done was take it out and I actually used some neoprene rubber which I had a bit of leftover from a friend. He gave it to me and I just said, this is where I said you could use a bit of lino or rubberized floor covering, flexible, soft flexible material you want. That isn't a plastic bag. Right, after I unfurled the A4 sheet, you can see that the neoprene rubber sheet that I borrowed, that I was given, is about the same size as an A4 sheet. Now I know that this didn't fit perfectly, and after I cut it to a roughly A3 shape, put it in there, I was able to just cut little bits out that made it fit a little bit better. And also this little area is tucked under my servo, so now when the rain does fall down through there, it'll drop onto the mat, and it's important then that it's important that once the water drops on the mat, it runs down into the area which is near the drain. So you've got to curl it right down, flatten it out as best you can, but the lowest point needs to be in that area where the water will drain out again through the bulkhead. Right, I have now replaced my A3 sheet of paper with a black rubber membrane. Now, can you see where I've tucked it right up underneath the window? I've also tucked it in behind the servo, behind the servo, and I'll make sure that's going to be watertight around the back as well, so you can maneuver this particular rubber that it's sitting around the back and on the sides as well against the hinge. It is also underneath my bottle, and very importantly it all runs down into the channel which is out of sight. but it's down in that area. But it runs down into the channel where it's allowed to drain off through the bulkhead. Now any water now going down through these holes will drop onto the rubber mat, drain out through the bulkhead, but it will not allow any water to pass down behind the servo, the brake pedal, the clutch pedal, the accelerator, or the bonnet catch, because they're all hidden by that rubber mat. But remember to tuck it underneath the water bottle as well. Okay, so my water bottle now is sitting on top of that rubber mat. It holds it all in place as well, and I think that is the cure to water from the coming that might come through your pedals. Now I've shown you everything that I've done in the engine compartment. So that was the rubber mat, which, if you can see it, it's over there behind the water bottle. It's comfortable there, it doesn't move, there's nothing moving underneath it that it'll get ruined in any way, so it just sits there and lets the water run off. And also my battery cover, it may not look the best, but it can be if you take time to sit it in place properly. I've disturbed it now just to show you that you can make this fit very nicely and look a bit better. Just needs a bit of you need to cut the handle bit off the bottle, but the hole you cut out will sit nicely over the terminals.